Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Dizer. I'm here with my Damien Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Was water on your list for 2016 as a hot trend?
Of course.
It was? Water was?
I think so.
Because today, I believe today's the first day that it's in the news since.
In a good way or
in a good way. Oh yeah, definitely in a good way. So maybe it's picking up. Maybe you were on. So I've got a study to share with you today, which is really cool. I think you're going to love it. It's from what journal? The Journal of Human Nutrition and Dietetics. And the title is called Plain Water Consumption in Relation to Energy Intake and Diet Quality Among U.S. Adults, 2005 to 2012. So they followed thousands and thousands of people for those 7 years. And what they found was, over the course of those 7 years, if water intake was increased by only 1%, there was a statistically significant reduction in calorie intake. So when people drank more water, they ate less.
Yes.
And that's not surprising.
No.
But 1% increase doesn't seem like a lot.
No.
Because we're looking at such a huge scale of people. We're looking at, but then again, statistically significant it didn't need to be a huge reduction in calories to be significant.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the details, when people drank 1, 2, or 3 extra cups of water a day, their caloric intake reduced by 68 to 200 calories. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. A
lot of people think they're hungry and they're thirsty.
So true.
And the other thing is, when you're drinking adequate amounts of water, there's not as much room for excess food. So your body is more likely to regulate what's a normal portion.
Right.
Where if you're dehydrated, there's more room. You can just mow down.
Definitely, yeah, you can.
But I think, even with myself, I think I used to. Now I obviously can tell the difference, but I definitely think I used to be dehydrated or thirsty and then turn to food.
Oh, same here. I think for me, it's most common at the end of the day. I think that at the end of the day, when I get really snacky, it's just needing a bit of extra water. And it helps, right? Like, it fills you up. You don't really need to eat at that point.
And when you're busy, you forget about water.
Oh, do I? I think a lot of people do. It's
oh,
so
no,
common.
I don't think... Yeah, I think it's very common. It's just that I'm obsessed with it.
I mean, you're the ultimate water pusher, so you must love this.
I do. And
200 calories a day is a lot. I mean, if you drink 3 extra cups of water to reduce 200 calories, for someone who's eating maybe a snack too much or a high-calorie food that, may take you across the limit where you move into a weight gain category.
A couple servings of fat too much comes to mind, because generally about a tablespoon of regular fat would be about 100 calories. So, a couple servings too many.
So what's your water recommendations for the average adult? Like
2.5 liters.
2.5 liters, okay.
A day.
Yeah.
And if you're starting with, only drinking, 500 mils of water, or just sipping, or then I don't feel like you should jump to that, because you're going to see a huge difference in going to the bathroom. I mean, increasing your water, you're going to see an increase in going to the bathroom, and especially at first.
Yeah, I mean, that's the major complaint I get when I recommend more water. Oh, I spent the whole morning at work going to the washroom. And that's going to happen.
At first.
Then it's gonna calm down.
Right. And I mean, doing the things that are just kind of common sense, like stop drinking water after 8 p.m. kind of deal. But yeah, for me, I just always have a liter, and as long as I fill that up 3 times and consume it in a day, it's done.
Definitely. My core recommendation is whatever water bottle you have, fill it in the morning and drink the whole thing, because that's going to help with the bowel movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to keep your brain hydrated for the early part of the day when you need the most energy,
mm-hmm.
mental function.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you finish it, fill it up again and take it with you. And then sip on it, and you're going to get 1.5 to 2 liters depending on if you have a 750 or a 1 liter bottle.
Definitely.
And that would be my minimum requirement for most adults.
Mm-hmm.
Now in weight loss, you like to take it to 2.5, 3 liters, and I think that that's super beneficial.
I find it very beneficial. I've seen people that have been stagnant, while in the weight loss process, and before I change, reducing any portions or removing any foods that could be causing sensitivities or, re-looking at what the choices on a daily basis can be, the first thing I do is water. And a lot of the time, just increasing that water to the 2.5 or 3 liter mark is all that someone needs.
Isn't that great? I mean, that's excellent.
2 things come to mind for me. That would be improving digestion. So getting rid of those toxins. Your bowels are moving properly. That waste is clearing faster. And 2, you're not consuming extra calories that you actually don't need.
Oh, exactly. And I would add on to that, as a third, when you're hydrated, you have more energy. I mean, you have more energy to work out.
And people don't relate water to energy because they kind of think of it as nothing. But if you want to see your clarity, brain function, attention, and just overall physical energy improve, aside from the digestion and, reducing bloating and all those things, water's the answer.
What do you think about drinking water with meals?
I don't have an issue with it. I know people go back and forth with debating this. And I mean, if you test it out and you don't like water with your meals and you find like you're not I've always drank a lot of water. And I mean, I've had a lot of blood work done to test where I'm at. And I'm very healthy. And
exactly.
I'm not lacking any nutrients.
No, I agree with you. I think it's a case-by-case basis. I think it's how everyone's a little different. If you're already bloated after meals and then you drink a huge liter of water with a meal, yeah, your digestive enzymes may be diluted a bit. I don't know that that's scientifically proven.
Yeah, and I don't know.
For sure. No, it's still up in the air, and I think case by case.
Case by case.
The most important thing is that you're reaching the level that you need to reach.
Yes.
And to get that 200 calorie reduction a day can be the answer for someone who's trying to lose weight. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
It's excellent. The next study, and you're going to love this, there's a Dutch connection.
Ooh.
We make fun of my background.
No, we do not make fun of it.
We celebrate.
David is Dutch, so I tell people I'm Dutch. And it's just like this thing. Oh, we're Dutch.
Yeah.
And David's like, you're not Dutch. It's not how it works. And
you're
I'm like,
honorary Dutch.
Yeah, but I think I am Dutch, and I tell everyone I'm Dutch, and David just rolls his eyes like, she's not Dutch. I don't know why she keeps telling people that, but...
Yeah, it's funny.
I know. I like it.
Well, this is a study of Dutch adolescents.
Let's hear it.
Well, there's tons and tons of debate of whether omega-3s make you smarter. When you have a higher omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, is your brain function better?
Mm.
So, we're always trying to figure this out, and what would be the dose necessary to actually achieve, better cognitive function with omega-3s.
Mm.
So they did a study on Dutch adolescents, and they looked at cognition, and they looked at 2 things: information processing speed and a reduction in impulsivity. So we're talking again, some things we've been talking about with kids is, being able to focus on one thing. As opposed to trying to do too many things at once and not really grasping what you're learning. Anyways, they found that omega-3 supplementation, having a higher level of omega-3s in the blood, was improved information processing speed and reduced impulsivity. I think that's excellent.
That is excellent.
It's really good to hear because really it's not about supplementing with omega-3s.
No.
It's about the ratio of omega-3 to omega-6 in your diet and not having too much red meat, not eating meat at every single meal, and having a nice balance of fish and nuts and seeds to rebalance that standard North American diet that is so high in omega-6s compared to what our bodies are used to.
Yeah, and I think it's coming back to and really bringing forward the movement of overall well-rounded health. Because I feel like when we were children, in our parents' generation, the only real motivation to clean up a diet was to lose weight. And I remember my mom would be on specific diets, and she would have like her specific diet food, and we'd all still be eating whatever.
Oh, right.
And
yeah,
like,
it wasn't like a healthy. Yeah, it wasn't like a healthy thing. It was like, yeah.
And I thought of something in the shower the other day that really, it was when I first like started to want to try to do fitness, and I was probably 15, 16 years old. And I remember I was at the gym. I used to go at 6 a.m. before school with my sister. And I was on a treadmill one day, and this woman beside me that was obese said, "Why are you here? You're small." And I thought, what a strange thing to say.
Right.
Because it was still the concept that, like, we were still, that wasn't that long ago. So I still think we're coming out of that. I still think there's populations that people people still associate eating healthy with being on a quote unquote diet associated with trying to be skinny. Right?
Skinny equals healthy, and why else would you work out or eat well? Like,
right.
Yeah.
If you're, so this person was looking at me and thought, well, why would you work out? You're already small. And I thought, what a strange thing. It's like, no, that's why I at the time was small. Mm-hmm. Or fit, or whatever.
Exactly.
Because I work
out. Because you were doing the work, you were eating well, yeah.
Right?
For sure, it's really interesting.
Right. So I think I still think we're coming out of that. And I think with these studies with children, that's why it kind of excites me, because I feel like we're coming back to, or waking up to the common sense of, this isn't just about vanity.
It's about overall well-being.
It's about being an optimal, healthy human. And that, we've diagnosed all these people with all these different things that could be just resolved by a well-rounded, healthy diet and lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And the side effect of that is being a lean, healthy looking person.
Yeah, it's not a solution that you're going for after you've reached a place of illness. It's just a maintenance.
Yeah, I still think there's this misconception out there that you can diet really, really hard and then get to a place and then you can go back.
Done. Yeah, you're finished.
It's just weird.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Well, it's not. That's just not how life works.
When it comes to omega-3 and omega-6s, the reason this is important is because we've evolved, or the theory is that we've evolved with a ratio of about 3-to-1, 2 or 3-to-1, omega-6 to omega-3. Omega-6s you get from meat and other sources of fat, and omega-3s, the DHA and EPA that you get normally from fish, and then you can get a vegetarian form of omega-3, which then the body has to convert into the usable forms. So the diet that has evolved in the last 60 to 80 years has been so high in other meat sources separate from fish, and nuts and seeds have been lower down on the consumption rate for North Americans, that the ratio has gone almost to 20-to-1 omega-6 to omega-3, which we know that omega-3 has huge anti-inflammatory properties, which we really need for optimal health. So bringing that ratio back down is so important, and this really shows it for cognitive function, which is what we've been estimating for a long time.
Right.
So it's really exciting.
Yes.
And you're right, that idea of balance, I mean, both these studies we've seen, the water as well. I mean, if you're drinking if you're, the baseline in this study was about 4 cups a day. If you take that to 7 cups a day, then you're reducing 200 calories. That's going to help you maintain a healthy weight forever. Mm-hmm. If you didn't do that, you would be in a weight gain category. So it is a balance. Mm-hmm. It really is another balanced study. The third one is about vitamin D supplementation.
Oh my gosh, you're obsessed.
I am obsessed. I think vitamin D supplementation is so important. I mean, in Canada here, we're in the Northern Hemisphere, and Health Canada promotes vitamin D supplementation. It's one of the only vitamins or minerals or any sort of supplement that an actual governmental body promotes that all Canadians should be taking. Mm-hmm. The requirements for Canadians, I believe it has now been moved up to 1,000 IUs a day. It maybe still 800. Either way, it's a requirement for all Canadians to be taking, and they're suggesting now all year round. And then there's different doses for teenagers. I believe it's around 600 IU, and then there's different doses for children. But the point is, everyone should be taking it. Now, this study that I want to bring up today is about major depressive disorder. We know that low vitamin D levels are associated with depression. But it's mostly been related to this seasonal affective disorder, which has become popular in the last few years since we've started doing vitamin D testing.
Well, I mean, it's been a real thing forever. I mean, if you listen to anybody that, especially here in Canada, especially coming from the east coast of Canada, I remember my whole life people talking about in the winter, they gain weight, they don't go out much, they sleep more, they're, sad.
Mm-hmm. For sure, and we've associated that now with vitamin D levels. So, I mean, it's excellent to know.
Yes.
But what are we going to do about it? Separate from this seasonal affective disorder is looking deeper into major depressive disorder, because we don't have a ton of solutions. I mean, the antidepressants don't work for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, this study was one that's looking at vitamin D supplementation. This is a Journal of Nutrition. Excellent journal.
Okay.
Vitamin D supplementation affects the back depression inventory, insulin resistance, and biomarkers of oxidative stress in patients with major depressive disorder. So this is a randomized controlled clinical trial, and it's looking at vitamin D levels in people who are depressed, and then using the scores to see how it helps with overall health. And I want to read the conclusion because this is very powerful. Overall, vitamin D supplementation of patients with major depression disorder for 8 weeks had beneficial effects on the depression inventory, the Beck depression inventory, indicators of glucose homeostasis, so blood sugar control, and oxidative stress, which is so important for cardiovascular function. So having optimal levels of vitamin D has brought the levels of this depression indicator. This actual document you use, the inventory, is a really good one in depression, because it does give you, where you're at on the depressive scale. And it shows vitamin D supplementation improves this, can lift depression, but it also can help regulate blood sugar and reduce oxidative stress. So huge. For overall health, we're talking 3 major separate things here.
Well, blood sugar, that could affect weight gain.
Exactly.
Seasonal weight gain.
We're talking seasonal weight gain. We're talking seasonal mental emotional issues, but not only seasonal, this is all year round. And then oxidative stress, which oxidative stress, an impact on the cardiovascular system, can predispose you to strokes, heart attacks, a whole bunch of things. Hypertension. Vitamin D supplementation being one of the core solutions for all 3.
Wow.
How exciting is that?
It's wonderful.
So, it's a very simple test. In Canada, you can get it tested by your GP. You can go to a naturopath and have it tested whenever you like. But supplementation is quite simple.
Yes.
There's D3 is available. That's the version you need. You can get it pretty much anywhere, and you can look at your test, and then you can take the supplement, and then in a few months you can test again, and you can see those levels rise, and all 3 of these things can be helped. It's exciting.
It's wonderful.
I know me personally, in the winter, I benefit from taking vitamin D.
I know. You have been
on. You know.
Oh, I know. You forced it on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's important.
Well, it does make a difference, obviously.
For sure.
It's an easy supplement to take, too, in the liquid form.
It's really easy because it drops and it's not a big deal.
It takes 2 seconds.
The thing with vitamin D is it is fat soluble, so it's nice to have your levels tested, because you store it. It's a hormone.
Right.
It's in the form of a vitamin, but it acts as a hormone in the body. So you can take too much.
Right.
The recommended doses by Health Canada, like I said, 800 IU to 1,000 IU. But then if you know your levels are low, you can replete based on what your MD or naturopath state would be a good level for you. And then they'll give you the upper limit of not to go over.
Right.
Yeah, it's very important to know those numbers.
Yeah, you don't want to over-supplement with anything.
Definitely you do not.
Because that's not beneficial either.
No. So we've been talking a lot lately about happiness, and we've been talking about mental, emotional ups and downs, mood changes, and we've been talking a lot about what to do, meditation, stress management, that type of thing, state of mind. We did an episode on the 4 agreements a week ago. This is one of the first supplement avenues we've taken for low mood, anxiety, those types of things. So you want to make sure that if you're in that category, your vitamin D levels are good, and then if focus is an issue, mental cognition or mental capacity is an issue, you want to look at your omega-3 levels. Right. It's exciting. Yes. Easy solutions.
And
inexpensive.
Yes.
Yeah. Omega-3, I want to make one more comment about vegetarian sources. You like flax and hemp, right?
Yes.
Those have been what you've used.
Yeah. And
they're fine. Most people convert them, no problem. Because the conversion happens in the body.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ones you've used. And you like hemp seeds, and you get good protein from that. And there's lots of benefits from flax as well.
Yeah.
Those are something that you would put in a smoothie.
Yeah, and I put them on salads. I put them on things all the time. And I just freshly grind my flax seeds every time I use them. And I keep my seeds all in the fridge.
What are the seeds that you use? I mean, hemp, flax.
That's basically it.
Okay.
And chia.
Yeah, chia.
But I use them differently. Right. I often try to separate chia.
Oh, why is that?
Because I just think of it more as because it has such high fiber. If you ever make chia pudding or jam or whatever, you can see what it does. It expands. So I often associate that with kind of not allowing me to absorb everything I'm eating with it, kind of. So I just try to separate those.
Yeah, it would be quite good at binding minerals and things.
Right. So it's just something. It's not proven. This isn't a theory. This is just an Amy theory for my own personal thing, because I am constantly just trying to, whatever I do consume, I try to make it optimal.
Right.
I try to make whatever I'm eating the best fuel possible for that time. So that's just something I do. I'll separate it. Mm-hmm. So this morning in my smoothie I had chia. So then at lunch I'm going to put my hemp seeds and freshly ground flax on my salad.
Nice.
Right? That's just what I prefer to do.
So would you recommend that everyone has ground flax, hemp seeds, and chia in their fridge, like all the time? Is that something
I like it.
I think it's good too. I mean, it's just such a nice, easy thing to supplement your diet with.
Yeah, and I just think of it as, and I don't use a lot. I use a tablespoon, basically, of everything. And I just, at a time, and it's just packing as much nutrients into whatever meal I can, I'm all about nutrients.
Yes.
I'm less about I'm just really focused on nutrients now.
You're more about quality over quantity. You want nutrient-dense, healthy food with good fiber, good water, good nutrients.
I do.
And then on the vitamin D front, it only takes 15 minutes in the sun with just a little bit of exposure to raise your vitamin D levels. Mm. So even in the northern hemisphere, we have an opportunity on sunny days to replenish vitamin D levels. And we take advantage of that every chance we get.
Yeah, we do.
So it's not like you need to sit in the sun for hours and hours and hours. No. It only takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
So in the winter, there are Health Canada recommendations for taking vitamin D, and then in this, summer, all you have to do is get in the sun. Mm-hmm. And then your water intake is about 3 liters.
Yes.
So that is how these studies relate to a balanced lifestyle, and how you can see the benefit in each one separately, and you use it for different reasons, and see excellent benefits from them anyhow. Mm-hmm. I love it. Mm-hmm. That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamiHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.